I'm Sally Cole with Story Hour Academy, and this is our phonics lesson about the letter Y. The letter Y makes one consonant sound and 3 vowel sounds. Let's study those sounds. Letter Y makes a consonant Y sound Y, and it looks like this in a dictionary. The letter Y makes a short I sound, I, and it looks like this in the dictionary. The letter Y makes a long I sound, I, and it looks like this in the dictionary. And the letter Y makes the long E sound, E, and it looks like this in the dictionary. So the 4 sounds of Y are Y, I, and E. Now get out a paper and pencil and let's write down the letter Y on our paper. First, let's write the lowercase y while we say the 4 sounds of Y. The lowercase y starts at the midline, angles down to the baseline, then you go back up to the midline, angle down to the baseline, and then continue past the baseline. Lowercase y makes 4 sounds, y, I, and E. Let's do this 4 more times. Lowercase y says y, I, E. Lowercase y says y, I, E. Lowercase y says y, I, E, and lowercase y says y, I, E. Now let's do the uppercase y. We'll do that one 5 times. Uppercase y starts at the top line, it angles down to the midline, go back to the top line, angle down to the midline, and then go straight down to the baseline. Uppercase y says y, I, E. Let's do that 4 more times. Uppercase y says y, I, E. 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 Good job. Now you know the 4 sounds of Y. And perhaps you have noticed that we have already covered phonograms for all of these sounds. So let's write out these sounds. We have the consonant Y, Y, the short I, the long I, and the long E. Let's look at different ways we have of spelling these sounds. For consonant Y, you can spell this with an I. It's rare, but in words like onion, the I makes a Y sound. It's the 4th sound of I. For short I, we can spell it with an I. This is the 1st sound of I. For a long I, we have 2 ways of spelling this so far. We can spell it with the phonogram IGH. That says I, or we can spell it with the letter I. This is the 2nd sound of I, the long I. And then for E, we have the double E phonogram. That makes the long E sound E. And we have the letter E that can make the long E sound E. And we have an I which is the third sound of I can say E, like in happiness. So we have phonograms for each of these sounds, and now that we're learning the letter Y, we just get another phonogram for these sounds. So here's the consonant Y, Y. Here's a Y that says I, Y that says I, and a Y that says E. We have all these ways to spell these sounds. And now we need to ask, when does letter Y say Y? When does letter Y say I? When does letter Y say I? And when does letter Y say E? Let's ask those questions and get some answers. So first question, when does letter Y make a consonant Y sound? Y. And here's our answer. I'll scroll so you can see the whole thing. Answer. Letter Y makes a consonant Y sound only at the beginning of a word or syllable. Anywhere else, letter Y makes a vowel sound. Let's look at some examples of this. Get out your paper and pencil, and we are going to write some words that begin with the consonant Y. First word, yarn. Here we have the Y that says Y, our AR phonogram that says R, and an N that says N. Y, R, N, yarn. Next word, yes. Here we have a consonant Y that says Y, an E that says and an S that says S. The E says because it's in a closed syllable, a syllable ending with a consonant letter, in this case consonant letter S. Next word, yet. We have a consonant Y that says Y, an E that says and a T that says T. Y, t, yet. Next word, yam. We have a Y that says Y, an A that says an M that says Y, yam. Next word, yell. We have a Y that says Y, an E that says and a LL that says ol, Y, ol, yell. So these are all words that begin with letter Y. And because letter Y comes at the beginning of the word, it makes its consonant Y sound. Y, yarn, yes, yet, yam, yell. Now in the second set of words we're going to look at, letter Y still makes its consonant Y sound Y, but it's coming at the beginning of a syllable in a multi-syllable word. It's not at the beginning of a word, instead it's at the beginning of a syllable. First example, beyond. The first syllable is B. This is an open syllable that ends with a vowel. It's spelled with a B that says B, and an E that makes a long E sound E. B. Yawned is our second syllable, where we use the consonant Y to say Y, a O to say ah, an N to say N, and a D to say D. Beyond. Next example, farmyard. First syllable farm, second syllable yard. So farm is spelled with a F that says F, our AR phonogram to say R, an M to say M. The second syllable begins with a Y, so it makes its consonant sound Y. Y. Then we have an AR to say R, and a D to say D. F, R, M, farm, Y, R, D, yard. Next word, canyon. First syllable can, second syllable yun. We have a C that says k, an A that says a, and N that says n. Then the second syllable begins with a Y, so the Y makes its consonant sound y. Y. We have a schwa O that makes an unstressed vowel sound and an N that says n. K, a, n, y, n, canyon. And there you have it. These are the two cases where letter Y makes its consonant Y sound, y, at the beginning of a word or at the beginning of a syllable. And that brings us to our next question, which is, question, when does letter Y make a short I sound I? And here's our answer. Letter Y makes a short I sound I in closed syllables that begin and end with a consonant. So let's look at a closed syllable word that begins and ends with a consonant that doesn't have Y. There's a lot of examples of this, but one would be math. Here we have consonant letter M, vowel letter A, and a consonant digraph TH. So consonant, vowel, consonant, and the A makes its short A sound a because TH is a consonant. So this word says a, th. Now, if we look at the same pattern where there's a vowel Y in the place of the A, we would have a word like this, M-Y-T-H. This fits this pattern described here, where it's a closed syllable that begins and ends with a consonant. Thus, in this word, the letter Y makes a short I sound I, and this word is I, th, myth. So let's look at some more examples where letter Y makes a short I sound in closed syllables that begin and end with a consonant. Okay, so our next example is rhythm. Here, the sound is a bit tricky because it's spelled with a silent H. So RH says and then you've got a Y that makes a short I sound I. Then you have TH that says th, and an M that says I, th, is a consonant and is a consonant. So this is our vowel letter Y that's in between two consonants, and that makes it say its short I sound I, rhythm. Next word, cylinder. These are pretty big words, right? Cylinder starts with a C that says S. That's the second sound of C. And then we've got the Y that makes its short I sound I. It's followed by an L that says ol, sil. That's the first syllable. Sil. Second syllable, in. We have a short I that says I and an N that says n. Because this is a closed syllable, the N is a consonant letter. That's telling us that this I makes its short sound I. And the last syllable is der. We have a D that says D and an ER phonogram that says So the first syllable is the important one because we're learning about the letter Y. And this has a pattern of consonant vowel Y, consonant. When you see that pattern, the vowel Y makes a short I sound I, S, I, O, I, N, D, cylinder, cylinder. Okay, next word, hymn. Here we have a H that says H, a Y that says I, an M that says and a silent N. H, I, hymn. This fits the pattern where we have a consonant, the vowel Y, and then another consonant at the end, and that makes the vowel Y say its short I sound I. And last example, crystal. Here we have a C that says K. That's the first sound of C. Hard C, K. We have an R that says We have a Y that says I. We have an S that says S. Chris. That's first syllable, Chris. And then we've got the second syllable, toll, with a T that says T. A schwa vowel that's spelled with an A. And an L that says ol. First syllable, Chris. Second syllable, toll. Say it together fast, crystal. Now looking at the first syllable, we have that familiar consonant, vowel Y, consonant pattern, which makes the vowel Y say its short I sound I, K, I, S, T, O, crystal. Okay? And that leads us to our next question, which is, when does letter Y make a long I sound, I? And this is a fairly long answer, so let's study it closely. Answer. Letter Y makes a long I sound before silent final E and at the end of words made up of just one open syllable. So words made up of just one syllable that ends with a vowel. And then it goes on to say, it sometimes makes a long I sound in an open syllable at the end of a multi-syllable word. So an open syllable is just a syllable that ends with a vowel, but that syllable would have to come at the end of a multi-syllable word. This one's easiest to see through example. First, let's look at words where letter Y makes a long I sound I before silent final E. First word, style. Here we have S that says S, T that says T, Y that says a long I sound I, L that says O, and silent final E. Now this is a pattern we know. Silent final E tells us that the vowel letter preceding silent final E makes a long vowel sound. And in this case, that long vowel sound is a long I sound I. S, T, I, O, silent final E. Next word, rhyme. Here we've got RH that says just like in rhythm. A Y that says I. An M that says and a silent final E. So the silent final E tells us that the vowel preceding the silent final E is making a long sound. In this case, it's a long I sound I. And so we say I, and we don't pronounce the E. Say it together fast, rhyme. Next word, type. Here we have a T that says T, a Y that says I, a P that says P, and a silent final E. The silent final E is telling us that the preceding vowel letter, the vowel Y, is making a long sound. In this case, it's a long I sound I. And so we pronounce this word with a T that says T, a Y that says I, a P that says P. We don't pronounce the E. Say it together fast. Type. Next word, by. Here we have a B that says B, a Y that says I, and a silent final E. The silent final E tells us that the preceding vowel letter makes a long sound. In this case, it's a long I sound I. And so we say B, I. We don't pronounce the E. Say it together fast. Bye. This is as in, bye-bye. See you later. Next word, die. We have a D that says D, a Y that says I, and a silent final E. That's telling us that this Y makes a long sound, in this case a long I sound I. D, I. We don't pronounce the E. And this is the kind of dye that you use to change the color of fabric. Or maybe change the color of your hair, like I plan to dye my hair brown. Now there is a second category of words where letter Y makes a long I sound, and those are words made up of just one open syllable, which is just a one-syllable word that ends in a vowel. In this case, ends with a vowel Y that makes a long I sound I, as in by. Here we have a B that says B, and a Y that makes a long I sound I. This is a one-syllable word, by, and it ends in a vowel, the vowel Y, that makes a long I sound I, and therefore it fits this rule where letter Y can make a long I sound at the end of words made up of just one open syllable. And the meaning of this word by is a little bit different than the meaning of this word by, where B-Y-E that says by means goodbye, and B-Y that says by means next to, as in the cat sat by the dog. Let's look at some more one-syllable words that end in Y. How about cry? Here we have a hard C, k, an R that says and a Y that makes its long I sound I, k, I. It's one syllable, cry. It ends with a vowel, the vowel Y, and so the Y makes a long I sound I. Next word, dry. We have a D that says D, an R that says a Y that says I. It's a one-syllable word, dry. It ends with a vowel letter, so it's an open syllable word. And that vowel letter makes a long sound, the long I sound I. D, I, dry. Next word, fly. We have an F that says f, an L that says l, a Y that says I. It's a one-syllable word, fly. The Y is a vowel letter, so it's an open syllable word. And the Y makes a long I sound I. F, L, I. Now remember, Y only makes a consonant sound at the beginning of words, and that's why we know that this is a vowel letter. Once we know this is a vowel letter, we know it's an open syllable, and then we know that it can make a long I sound. F-O-I, fly. Next word, shy. We have the SH phonogram that says sh. The vowel letter Y, it's at the end of an open syllable, which is just a syllable that ends in a vowel. And so the Y says it's a long I sound I. Sh, I, shy. And then the final category of words where letter Y makes a long I sound I is in an open syllable at the end of a multi-syllable word. So shy is an open syllable in a one-syllable word. So let's find some open syllables at the end of a two-syllable or three-syllable word. Here's an example. Reply. First syllable, re. We have an R that says and an E that makes a long sound, the long E sound E, because the first syllable is an open syllable. But it ends with an E, so it doesn't concern us regarding the sounds of Y. Second syllable is ply. This is spelled with a P that says P, an L that says L, and a Y, a vowel Y, which makes what sound? A long I sound I, because this is at the end of a word. This is an open syllable because it ends with a vowel letter, and when that vowel letter is a Y, it's going to make a long sound, the long I sound I. Therefore, we have R-E-P-L-Y spells reply. Next word, satisfy. Now this is a three-syllable word, so it is still a multi-syllable word. Multi means many or more than one. First syllable, sat. Second syllable, is. Third syllable, fi. So, first syllable is easy. This is a closed syllable. Starts with an S that says s, an A that says a, and a T that says t. The A makes its short A sound a because it's in a closed syllable that ends with a consonant letter, the consonant T. Second syllable, is. This is also a closed syllable. It ends with a consonant S, so the I makes its short I sound I. And fi. Here we have an F that says f, and a vowel Y. We know it's a vowel because it's not at the beginning of a word or a syllable. Instead, it's at the end of a word and at the end of a syllable. So, when vowel Y is in an open syllable at the end of a multi-syllable word, it can make its long I sound. So here's vowel Y in an open syllable at the end of a multi-syllable, in this case a three-syllable word. And so the rule applies, and it makes its long I sound I. Sat, is, fi. Say it together fast. Satisfy. Next word, lullaby. Lullaby. First syllable, lull. L-U-L-L. Second syllable, It's a schwa vowel sound. Third syllable, by. We have a B that says b, and a Y that says I. So here again, we have an open syllable because it ends with a vowel Y. It's at the end of a multi-syllable word. We know it's a multi-syllable because it's got three vowel sounds. The and lull, the schwa, and the long I, lull, by. And therefore, the Y at the end of the word is going to make a long I sound. I. Lullaby. Let's read all of our words where letter Y makes a long I sound I. Style, rhyme, type, buy, die, buy, cry, dry, fly, shy, reply, satisfy, lullaby. And now, let's ask one more question about the sounds of Y. The question is this. When does letter Y make a long E sound, E? And here's our answer. Letter Y usually makes a long E sound in an open syllable at the end of a multi-syllable word. So this is actually the same as that third example of where letter Y makes a long I sound. These ones, reply, satisfy, lullaby. These are open syllables at the end of a multi-syllable word. So sometimes it will make a long I sound, I, but usually it will make a long E sound, E. So let's look at examples. Happy. First syllable, hap. H-A-P. Second syllable, P. P-Y. So P-Y is an open syllable because it's a syllable that ends with a vowel letter. We know Y is a vowel letter here because Y can only be a consonant letter at the beginning of a word or at the beginning of a syllable. This is Y at the end of a word and not the end of a syllable. So it's definitely a vowel. Therefore, PY is an open syllable. This is a two-syllable word. First syllable hap, second syllable P. Therefore, the Y can make a long E sound, E. Hap, E. Next word, baby. First syllable, bay. Second syllable, B. Bay is spelled B-A. B is spelled B-Y. First syllable is an open syllable because it ends with the vowel letter A. That means that the A makes its long sound. The long A, A. B-A. Second syllable, B, is an open syllable because the Y is a vowel letter because it's not coming at the beginning of a word or at the beginning of a syllable. And so our syllable, pronounced B, is an open syllable, and it's at the end of a multi-syllable word, and therefore the Y is making a long E sound, because that's the sound that Y usually makes in this position in a word. Next word, nasty. First syllable, nas, N-A-S. This is a closed syllable because it ends with a consonant letter, so the A makes its short A sound, A. Second syllable, T, spelled T-Y. The Y is a vowel Y because the Y isn't coming at the beginning of a word or at the beginning of a syllable where it could make its consonant sound. So we know it's an open syllable, and this is a two-syllable word, so we know it's at the end of a multi-syllable word. Therefore, it's usually going to make its long E sound, E. So T-Y is the second syllable, says T. Nas-T, say it together fast, nasty. Next word, sadly. First syllable, sad, is a closed syllable word because it ends with a consonant, which means the A makes its short A sound, A, S, A, D. Second syllable, li. L-Y, Y says a long E sound, E. Here's that syllable We know Y is a vowel letter because it's at the end of a syllable, not at the beginning of a word or at the beginning of a syllable. So we can check this box, and it's at the end of a multisyllable word. This is 2 syllables, sadly. And so the letter Y will usually make a long E sound. And it does, sadly. And next word, dirty. First syllable dirt, second syllable E. Here we have a D that says D, an IR that says That's our IR phonogram. A T that says T. So there's our first syllable. And the second syllable is just a Y that says E. When Y is all alone in a syllable, it's always going to be a vowel because every syllable must have a written vowel. So this is a vowel Y. It's an open syllable because the syllable ends in Y. And that's at the end of a multisyllable word. This is a 2-syllable word, which makes it a multisyllable word. So the Y will usually make the long E sound E. Dirt, E, dirty. So now you know when letter Y makes its consonant Y sound, Y, when it makes its short I sound, I, when it makes its long I sound, I, and when it makes its long E sound, E. Then there's just a few more things you need to know about letter Y. One of those is, what are the sight words with the letter Y? Here are some common ones. EYE says eye. This is like the eye of a tiger, where you have a right eye on your face and you have a left eye on your face. Another one is you. Y-O-U, as in you are doing a great job. Next one is busy. B-U-S-Y. And this word, the Y makes a sound you would expect, a long E sound E, but the U makes a sound you would not expect. It makes a short I sound I, which is very unusual. So that's why busy is a sight word. The U doesn't make a sound you would expect. And says. Says is spelled S-A-Y-S, as in Mom says, don't go outside. And usually A-Y would say a long A sound A, but in this case it's making a short E sound E. And that's unexpected. That doesn't follow the rules, and so says is a sight word. So just memorize these. E-Y-E says I, Y-O-U says you, B-U-S-Y says busy, S-A-Y-S says. And let's not forget the other sight words we know. Let's write those all down. We've learned is, I-S says is, height, H-E-I-G-H-T says height. Usually E-I-G-H says A, but in this word it makes a long I sound, and that's unexpected, and that makes it a sight word, height. Next word, ant. A-U-N-T. This is only a sight word in American English. In British English they say aunt, where A-U makes its broad A sound aw, just like you'd expect, but in American English, the AU in this word makes the short A sound ah. The word becomes ant. That's unexpected, so it's a sight word. Next word, two. T-W-O says two, as in the number 2. Next word, of. O-F. says of. Next word, broad. B-R-O-A-D says broad. Usually the O-A makes a long O sound, O. But in this word, it makes a short O sound, ah. That's unexpected, so it's a sight word. B-R-A-D, broad. Next word, one. O-N-E. As in the quantity, one. Give me one chance. Next word, once. O-N-C-E. As in once upon a time. Next word, the. T-H-E. That's the voice TH, followed by a schwa. The. Next word, said. S-A-I-D. Usually, AI makes a long A sound, A. And said, it makes a short E sound, S-E-D. That's unexpected, so it's a sight word. Next word, again. A-G. A-I-N. This one, like said, usually AI says long A sound A, and this makes a short E sound E. That's unexpected, therefore this is a sight word. A-G-A-I-N says again. Next word, ben. We have a B that says B. A E-E that usually makes a long E sound E, and an N that says In this case, the E-E doesn't say E, it says a short E sound ben. Therefore, it's a sight word. This is mostly in American English. In British English, you can find dialects where it's pronounced with the long E sound. Where have you been? Next word, heart. H-E-A-R-T says heart. E-A-R makes three sounds, ear, air, and but in heart it says R. That's unexpected, so heart is a sight word. Now the last thing I want to talk about is the multi-letter phonograms with the letter Y, and these come in two categories. There's ones we have learned, and there are ones that we have not learned. So tell me if this is familiar to you. AY. Do you remember that multi-letter phonogram? It's a vowel phonogram. It's two-letter long A that may be used at the end of English words. So when you see AY in a word, read it as A. Now, do you remember this one? OY. This is two-letter OY that may be used at the end of English words. So when you see OY in a word, pronounce it as OY. Now let's look at multi-letter phonograms with the letter Y that we have not covered. And there's just one of them. Not bad, huh? This is a very long lesson. You're doing very good to make it this far. EY. This phonogram has two sounds, a long A sound A and a long E sound E. So EY can say A, EY can say E. We haven't learned that yet, so if you run into words with EY, feel free to skip them. We will learn this phonogram later. Great job today. Now your assignment is to read as many words containing the letter Y as you can. Start with a story titled Dumpy the Pony from the book The Riverside Readers, Second Reader. This is a book by James H. Van Sickle and Wilhelmina Seegmiller. I hope you like the story, and I hope you find a lot of success reading words with the letter Y. See you again next time here at Story Hour Academy.